She arrived in America with just two things, a suitcase and a dream. The day Isabella landed at JFK Airport, the sky was overcast, as if mirroring the anxiety swirling in her chest. She was 22. Her family had sold the little they had to buy her that one-way ticket. She clutched her suitcase tightly as the crowds rushed past her, businessmen with briefcases, families returning from vacation, airport workers shouting in English that felt like a wave crashing over her. She didn't know where she was going, only that she couldn't go back. Her uncle's friend, who barely knew her, let her stay in a cramped basement room in Queens. She slept on a mattress on the floor. At night, she listened to the rats in the walls and whispered to herself in Portuguese, "Vai dar certo." Every morning, she walked 2 miles to her cleaning job. And every day, as she passed tall, shining buildings filled with people in suits, she said it again, one day. "I'll work in there." They mocked her accent, called her the cleaning girl. When she finally got a part-time job at a small downtown office as a cleaner and assistant, Isabella thought things were starting to change. But her accent became a constant target. "Can you say that again?" they'd smirk. "Where are you from again? Brazil? Argentina? Does it matter?" She tried to ignore them. She smiled even when it hurt. One afternoon, after overhearing a conversation about their failing social media presence, she timidly suggested a strategy based on what she'd learned watching YouTube tutorials. The manager cut her off, chuckling. "Sweetie, if I wanted marketing advice, I'd ask someone who doesn't clean toilets." That night, she cried silently in the subway ride home. Not because of what he said, but because she knew she had more to offer. She promised herself, "I'll never let someone else write my worth again." While others partied, she studied in silence. Her days were long and exhausting, but every evening after work, Isabella opened her borrowed laptop and studied. Free online business courses, branding strategies, Excel tutorials, YouTube case studies. Her English improved with every video, every note, every mistake. She couldn't afford business school, so she built her own. Her room was covered in sticky notes and vision boards. Her first goal? Launch her own skincare product, natural oils based on her grandmother's recipe from back home. Her roommates thought she was naive. "You? Start a business? You don't even know how to register one." But Isabella wasn't interested in their laughter. She was too busy building something they couldn't see yet. "They don't believe in me now," she told herself, "but one day they'll ask me for advice." Her first launch failed, but she found her spark. It took her 6 months to save enough for ingredients and packaging. She launched a simple website, took photos with her cracked phone, and started selling online. The first week, 0 sales. The second, a handful of orders, but customers complained. Packaging was leaking. No tracking info. The smell was off. Isabella was devastated. She lay in bed for 2 days, wondering if her dreams were foolish. But then, a skincare blogger with a small but loyal audience mentioned her product in a YouTube video. "It's raw, authentic, it reminds me of something my abuela used to make," she said. Orders surged. Not thousands, but enough to make Isabella get out of bed, fix the packaging, improve the site, and believe again. Failure didn't mean the end, it meant she had started. She faced betrayal in the boardroom, but walked out stronger. As her brand grew, Isabella attracted attention. She was invited to pitch her line to a small venture capital firm. Dressed in borrowed heels and a blazer from Goodwill, she walked into the office, only to freeze. Across the table sat her former manager, the one who had once dismissed her. He blinked. "Wait, you're the cleaning girl, right?" The room fell silent. Isabella didn't flinch. "No," she said calmly. "I'm the founder of Bellaskin. And today, I'm here to offer you a chance to invest before we scale." The deal fell through. He didn't believe in her, again. But another investor in the room did. One who saw past her accent and into her ambition. It was all she needed. From basement room to penthouse view, Isabella's brand exploded on social media. Influencers praised the authenticity. Customers shared emotional stories of how the products reminded them of home. She moved into her first real apartment, sunlight, hardwood floors, and a real bed. From there, she launched new lines, hair oil, lip balm, even a line for babies. She didn't hire a marketing agency. She used her story. This brand was built by an immigrant, for anyone who was ever told they weren't enough. The message resonated. Sales doubled, then tripled. And that office building she once cleaned? It now carried her logo on the side. She returned home, but she wasn't the same girl. Years later, Isabella landed in Brazil. This time, not with a suitcase and fear, but with a film crew and purpose. She visited her childhood neighborhood, where the streets hadn't changed, but the way people looked at her had. She hugged the woman who had once lent her shoes for the airport. She visited her old school and told students, "Your dreams are not too big, you're just not in the right room yet." And she built a business incubator for young girls who, like her, had ideas but no money or voice. She wasn't just successful, she was returning the light that once saved her. She bought the building where they once laughed. The office that had mocked her, denied her, humiliated her. It went up for sale. Isabella bought it, silently, without a press release. She waited until the last tenant moved out. Then she walked through the empty halls, remembering every word, every laugh, every door that had been shut in her face. She didn't feel revenge. She felt power. On the top floor, she turned the old break room into a creative space for immigrant founders. No titles. No dress codes. Only ideas. Above the door, in gold letters, it read, "Speak with your accent. The world needs your voice." Her accent remained, but now, it echoed louder. At a global business summit, Isabella took the stage. Her English was still touched with her native rhythm, her vowels unique. But she didn't hide it. A reporter once asked, "Have you ever considered accent reduction?" She smiled. "My accent reminds me I didn't grow up with privilege. I built everything with my voice, not despite it." That moment went viral. Millions of young immigrants saw themselves in her. She didn't just represent a product. She represented possibility. Sometimes, the world sees only your flaws, your accent, your background, your silence in the room. They hear the way you speak and assume you have nothing to say. They look at your job title, your clothes, or your past, and decide who you are before you even open your mouth. But Isabella's story reminds us that our beginnings do not define our limits. Your voice, no matter how different, carries power. Your past, no matter how humble, carries purpose. And your dream, no matter how distant, carries weight. Maybe today you're in a small apartment, working a job that doesn't reflect your potential. Maybe people laugh at your ideas, or you feel invisible in a room full of louder voices. But never forget, what they mock today might be the very thing that makes you unstoppable tomorrow. Greatness doesn't announce itself. It shows up quietly, works while others sleep, learns from every failure, and builds in the shadows. Just like Isabella, you don't have to shout to be heard, you just have to keep going. If you've made it this far, thank you. Truly. That means a part of this story touched something inside you, and that matters more than you know. If you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, if you believe in the power of resilience, of transformation, of people who rise from the bottom and make the world listen, then do one thing. Subscribe to this channel. Leave a comment and tell us what part of Isabella's journey inspired you the most. And most importantly, share this video with someone who needs a reminder that their story isn't over yet. Because sometimes, all it takes is one story to light the fire inside someone else. And maybe today, that fire is yours.